It's going, right?
Yeah, just
Okay.
whenever you want to start.
Okay, I'm Zuhair. I'm gonna do a quick deck profile on the deck that I've been playing lately. I've done pretty well with it. First time I played it was in Vegas for TOP, and I topped with it there. And then I won a shop championship and a box tourney on the same weekend here. And yeah, so I'll show you the deck. First leader is Son Goku. Front side, he can pitch an extra card to gain 5,000 power for the battle and draw a card, and then you can choose up to 1 life as well. That doesn't, with this deck, you usually want to stall out, so you don't use that often. The only times I really pick up my life, I think, is when I don't open TOP Arena, I'm trying to find it, or against Piccolo when they're running the successor engine with Super 17 because I don't want to get crit to 4. On the backside, he's Surge Awaken. He draws 3 and untaps 1. He has 2 effects on this side that are both activate main and battle. You can, if you have a U7 on board, you can draw a card and look at your opponent's hand, rip either an extra card or a battle card that's 35k or less. And then the second ability is like a hard draw 3, where you can choose 3 multicolor extra cards from your drop or warp and put them back into your hand. Both abilities are super good. Different abilities, like you prioritize an ability depending on the matchup usually, and yeah, he's just extremely good, very strong. So the core of the deck is the 4 TOP Arena. If you don't play 4, you're bad. The card is the root of the deck pretty much. Like you gotta hard mull for this turn 1. It allows you to charge your multicolor cards in active, so you don't need to play check lands, you just play this and you're good. I played as well 2 Whis to help find the TOP Arena, because it's just that important to get it turn 1 or as soon as possible. And then I also played 1 Krillin, which functions kind of similarly to Whis, where you can play turn 1 if you have it to find search top 7 for a TOP Arena, but if you end up drawing this card later in the game, you can also play it to search top 7 to find a multicolor extra card that you need. Like, you can find a Death Beam or Royal Condemnation, whatever your situation is. You can use this to search top 7 for it. And then I played 2 Frieza Death Embrace. This card is like almost MVP in some matchups. I've had games where this has stayed on board for like the first 4 turns, and during those 4 turns it's like negged like a total of like 30-40k. It just keeps you safe. Sometimes people even forget about it and they'll swing at you, and then if you're tapped out, you can like Beerus Super Combo, untap Energy Beam, double, minus 20k. It's got a lot of uses to stall out the game and to deal with like small things that you otherwise wouldn't be able to deal with. For super combos, I played 2 of the Backbone and 2 of the Beerus. This can be very good to bait your opponent. Sometimes you can tap out and you can untap a multicolor energy and then Death Beam their battle card that they're swinging with. This card, because you have TOP Arena that stacks your deck, sometimes you don't have a way to draw a card, so you can actually stack it on top of your deck with TOP Arena and then swing with something and then Backbone to draw into it. So yeah, I did a 2-2 split for that reason. I played 3 Tyranny's Cost. I used to play 4, but I made a couple of changes. Like each tournament, I actually made like 2 to 3 card changes just to try different things. The current version I'm playing right now is playing 3 of these. It's just very good. 1 energy, draw 2. Even if on turn 2 you don't have any other significant play to make, you just pay 2 to draw 2, and it's just super worth. Then the heart, another main function of the deck is obviously the 4 Vegetas. That's your main invoker card. It's got deflect, barrier. Like, this thing is coming down and there's usually nothing your opponent can do about it. They can close quarters Goku it, but you gotta be smart in how you play and play around it. Usually what I do when I play this, if I suspect they have it or that they sided it in, is I play it and then I'll awaken with leader, and then I'll use the ability to look at their hand mid-battle and rip it out of their hand if they have it. I played 4 Death Beam. This is actually probably one of my favorite cards in the deck. sometimes for some reason people forget about it and they run into it blindly, or like it just deals with everything. And in matchups where if you get Gogita'd and you just save a surge ability on your leader, you can pretty much hard draw 3 after Gogeta and go up to 6 cards, and then this is also a 1 card out to the Gogeta. So it's extremely good. Played 3, we're all in this together. This card is also extremely good. You can continually cycle it with your leader and then pitch it for your leader to draw in the early game, and that's how you create hand advantage in the first couple of turns. And then like against successor matchups, that's where this card I find is the most important, because they try to bring out their 3s or their 6 drops and all that, and you can just clear them to avoid getting Cell SCR'd like constantly. Sometimes I actually hard mull for this card if I already have my TOP Arena, just because I can cycle it constantly and like see more cards that way. Then we have 4 Royal Condemnation. It's the most strongest counterplay card in the game. It's like Denial of Hope on crack. Hits everything 8 or less. It even hits some SCRs, or actually a majority of the SCRs, I think. The only ones it doesn't hit is like Cell SCR and a couple of others, I can't remember, but I think there's only like 2 of them that it doesn't hit. And then it doesn't hit Fu as well, but like it hits literally everything else. And then I played 3 Catastrophic Blows. The thing with this deck is you can choose to play this line, or you can play with Gogeta, but I didn't really want to play with mainboard Gogeta. I just don't find it that fun to play. I found this a lot more fun to play, so I chose to do this. I played 4 at Vegas, but it felt like too much. So I cut it down to 3, and 3 seems to work perfectly fine, because even when you pitch it, you can use your leader to take it back, and you can also get it back with the next card that I will show you if you need to, is the 2 Piccolos blockers. This card you can play for 1 energy if you have 4 or more multicolor extra cards, or red-blue extra cards in your drop. He's a 15k blocker, so for 1 energy that's already really good. And then his auto is when he's KO'd, you can take a multicolor extra card from your drop area and put it back into your hand. So if I used this many times actually to get Royal Condemnation back, just to have constant like Royal Condemnations in my hand to keep my opponent's board clear. I've also used him as a 1-drop 15k beater before. He's also decent for turn 1 blue energy. If you opened TOP Arena, you can just charge this and play turn 1 TOP Arena. Card was very good. It's also used for Gogeta matchups. You can play this, and then after you get Gogeta, if they swing with it, you can just block it, take back a Death Beam, and then get rid of the Gogeta. I played 2 Senzu Bean. This card is not super important for this deck, because your leader on the front side can gain a plus 5k, so you don't often need your Senzu Bean that early. The only times you really use it, or that I really used it, is when I would play the Invoker Vegeta, tap 3, and then if I needed like to be more defensive and have 2 multicolors up on that turn instead of 1, I would just Senzu Bean. But yeah, it's not super important in this deck particularly. Then I played 3 of the 6-drop Goku Energy Explosion. He's one of your game closers. He's also an Invoker. He's super good. He's like an inherent double strike because of his effect. Once per turn, if your opponent takes damage, or if you deal damage to your opponent, then they'll take 2 instead of 1. This obviously synergizes with Catastrophic Blow really well, and that's usually how you're closing out games if they go on long enough. Yeah, I really like this card. The card's very good. And then I played 1 of the Son Goku Instinct Surpassed in the main board. I sided the second one, but I actually found myself siding in the second one very often. This card is extremely good. It's good in the mirror match because it can't be Royal Condemned. It's good against yellow because they can't Crusher Ball it, or like it's got deflect, so you can't be counterplayed. And in matchups where people hold up Frost and stuff like that, this thing is like just amazing. And if it gets Chompa'd, it really doesn't matter because activate main, you just restand it, neg their leader 5k, and you keep doing that. Like literally, the minimum amount of attacks I've had with this card is like I think 4. So you're always gonna have at least like 3-4 attacks. Then for the SCR, I played the Apex of Power. It's just like, in my opinion, the best SCR to play in the deck. Some people play Black Smoke, but like this card has won me so many games, just like no questions asked. It's too good. I just really like this card. For negates, I played 4 of the D Magic. It's pretty standard. You're a blue leader. Your TN is banned, so it's great now. And yeah, not much to say about it really. For my one-ofs, I played 1 combination attack, 1 all too easy, and 1 instinctive reprisal. These 2 cards are also different names for your leader, so you can get them back from your drop or warp. If they're not needed in any particular matchup, you can charge it, you can use it for your Surge Awaken. There's just a lot of flexibility with how these work. Combination attack was actually very good against Boo, I found. And then this was mostly for Gohan. This is another card where you can pitch it off your leader front side to cycle cards, and then now it's live in your drop area. You can use it for Surge Awaken, pitch this into the drop area for one of your abilities, and then now it's live in your drop area. Yeah, I just really like this deck. It's got a lot of flexibility, a lot of different things you do. It's a highly technical deck that has a pretty high skill cap, I would say. But yeah, that's the deck. Play it, enjoy it. It's very good. Yeah, that's it. Shoutouts to True Duelist, my team. Shoutouts to Shad for letting me borrow a bunch of cards, or selling me a bunch of cards, a bunch of foils. Shout out to anybody watching. Thanks for your support, and I'll see you guys next time.